guys, before we start cooking, I just want to quickly show you the ingredients I will be using to make my soup. Today I'm going to be making ogbono and okra soup for dinner. So here I've got my mackerel already cut and washed. I have my goat meat here. I already washed it as well and cut it into my desired sizes. It's not too big and it's not too small either, just about this size. Can you see that? Yeah, so I took it out from the freezer yesterday night to defrost so that it will be easier for me to cut. Here I have some spinach. I'm going to be adding some frozen spinach. I'm going to be adding some palm oil, and this is the brand I'm using. I love this brand. It's almost like that one we get in Nigeria. The taste is not bad at all. It's so good. I highly recommend this brand. And this is my fresh okra. Some people say this okra. Is that right? Well, I grew up knowing this to be okra, okay? But if you call it okra, it's not bad. But yeah, this is my fresh okra or okra. The reason I've not sliced it yet is because I want to show you how fresh they look and also to show you how I slice them. So I'm going to be using these 2 bags. And here is my ogbono. I've blended or grinded the ogbono. Can you see how smooth it is? I used that blender I used in my party style egusi soup. You guys love that blender so much. So that is the blender I used to blend this or grind it. Yeah. And I did not measure the ogbono. I just eyeballed it, but I think it was about a handful. So if you want to see how ogbono seeds look like, please kindly check the link in the description box below. I'm going to be leaving a link there of another video, another ogbono soup recipe. Here I've got some crayfish and 1 Scotch bonnet pepper. I blended the both. I used the blender, that same blender I used to blend the ogbono to blend this. That's why it's looking like this. And I did not measure the crayfish as well. I just eyeballed it. Some salt and some seasoning cubes. I'm using no chicken seasoning cubes. You can use any seasoning cube of your choice. So that's it. That's all I'll be using. I'll also be making semo. I don't have gari at the moment. You guys know gari is the best for eating draw soup. So I don't have gari at the moment. I'm going to be making semo later in the video. So let's start cooking.
Alright, so I'm going to bring out the pot I'll be using for the soup. Then I will add the goat meat into the pot and add some water to it to help the meat cook properly before I add the mackerel and the rest of the ingredients. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is because the goat meat takes a little longer to cook, so I want it to be tender enough before I start adding the mackerel and the rest of the ingredients. So while the meat is cooking, I'm going to start slicing the okra. But first I'm going to wash it with some salt and water. So after washing the okra, I will start slicing them into tiny pieces. Normally I like to cut off the 2 ends just like so. Then I'll start slicing them into tiny pieces. If you want, you can just cut them in chunky sizes and add to your blender, then pour a little water to it and blend it. But I don't usually like the blended okra, so I normally use my knife to like slice it into pieces like so. So the okra we have in Nigeria, once you start slicing them, you start seeing the sliminess instantly. But this one, it doesn't have enough slime to eat as I'm slicing it now, as you can see. If you guys notice what I'm saying, I don't know why, I don't know what they use to make this one. So I think that is more reason why whenever I'm making okra soup, it doesn't have a good amount of slime to it, even if I cover the okra or leave the pot open while cooking it.
So in the previous videos I made about okra soup or ogbono soup, whenever I cover the pot, some of you were like, oh no, don't cover the pot, it will make the okra or the ogbono to lose its sliminess. Trust me guys, I've used different methods. I've covered it, I've left it open, but all the same, I'm telling you. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to leave it open for you guys so you can see if there's any difference. Okay, after watching this video, you can watch my other okra soup or ogbono soup videos to see if there's any difference at all. So for me, I think it depends on the type of okra or the ogbono you use. The okra we get here is not the same like the one we have in Nigeria, so I think it depends on the type of okra or ogbono that you use. So that's my own.
So I'm going to check on the goat meat to see if it's tender enough before I start adding the rest of the ingredients. Alright, now it's time to add the mackerel. I'm just adding the mackerel now, and I'm going to be adding some salt. Just add the salt according to your taste, and I'm adding my seasoning cubes. I'm going to be adding 3 out of the 4. Then add the palm oil. Just add as much as you want. And add the blended crayfish and the scotch bonnet pepper. Now I'm going to pour in a good amount of water. I'm making a little big soup. Is that a word? It's not. The soup is not going to be big, it's not going to be too small, so I'm still adding more water to it. I'm giving it a good stir. Then I'm going to cover the pot and allow this to boil. And oh, don't forget to taste. Always taste to see if you need to adjust the seasoning. So I will cover the pot and let it come to a rolling boil, just like so now. So I'm going to start adding the blended ogbono. Once I add it, I stir it immediately. That way I will be able to avoid the lumps. Like if you add it, you stir it immediately. That will prevent the soup from developing lumps. So after adding the ogbono, remember we are not going to cover the pot. We are not going to cover the pot, so don't forget, just leave it open. We are going to see what will happen. Okay, like I'm telling you, there's no much of a difference. If you watch my previous ogbono and okra soup recipe, I covered the pot, though I didn't use the exact method I use here, but I covered the pot, but they all came out the same. Like this soup now and the other ogbono and okra soup, it's still the same thing. If you want, you can go and see that video. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. So after watching this one, you can go and check it out. So I added the okra after leaving the ogbono, only the ogbono, to cook for 10 minutes. Then I added the okra, mixed it in very well, and I left it to cook again on a medium heat for about 5 minutes. Now after about 5 minutes of cooking, I add the spinach. The spinach is the last thing I always add, and this is the sliminess. Like I did not cover the pot. I think the reason it's even this, it has this much of sliminess to it, is because of the ogbono. I mixed the both together. If I had cooked only the okra, it will not have this much of sliminess to it. I'm telling you guys. So this is it. I'm just going to start boiling my water for the semo, and then while the water is boiling, and I left the soup to steam or to simmer for, let's say, about 5 minutes on a low heat, on a very low heat. Then I'll start washing my plate, clearing off the space. So you guys, I told you I was going to make the semo, but my hubby just came back and he decided to help. So he's helping out with the semo, as you can see over there. Now I'm going to start sharing the soup into these little containers, because I'm going to be storing them in my freezer. Yeah, that is how we do it. In my dinner routine video, you guys were like, oh, I thought it was ice cream that they were about to have for dinner. When I opened the container, that is one of these containers you're seeing here, that's the comment I received from that video. So after eating ice cream, we normally, like, me myself, I normally store the containers so I can use it for stuffs like this. I have other containers though, like real containers, but this one serves me as well. So I'm going to dish out the soup we are going to be using for our food, our semo that is getting ready over there. So guys, yeah, that is it for this video. Please don't forget to watch my previous ogbono and okra soup recipe.
So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I'm going to leave the soups here. Once they cool down, I'll put them in the freezer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share this video with your family and friends, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that already. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.